it's Katie here from the Scrappy Sisters, and I am up today with a layout for Confessions of a Paper Addict. And it is a special layout today because it is the 1st of February, and Virginia has just done her big February release at Confessions of a Paper Addict in the Etsy shop, and the theme is boho. And I have actually done something very different for me. For starters, I've combined two cut files. I think one's called Boho Trio, which is the circle that I am using for the top of the dream catcher. And then I think the other one's called Feather Pendants, and there's 3 different types of feathers. And basically I've cut out the feathers multiple times, quite small, they're very fiddly. And then I cut out the circle in the Boho Trio, and I made that quite large. And I have created a dream catcher. So I didn't want to show you me kind of attaching all of the leaves or the feathers, because honestly it did take me quite some time. But what I actually did was I used just embroidery thread and a little bit of glue, and I put a little bit of glue on the back of each of the feathers, and then I wrapped the embroidery thread a couple of times around the stem of the feather with a little bit of glue as well. And you can see me having to redo it now because you actually do have to hold it down for a few seconds just to get that glue to stick. Once it's stuck, it's fine, it's not going anywhere. And I'm going to stick the feathers to the layout, so I don't actually need it to stick well enough that the embroidery thread is the only thing holding the feather up, because it's not. It will be stuck down onto the layout. So this is very unlike me. I'm doing mixed media a little bit. I'm doing some blending with my Distress Oxide inks. And I thought that I needed the circle to have a little bit of colour to it. So I've pulled out my Distress Oxide inks. I only have 4 of them. And it's the yellow, the blue, the purpley colour, and I've also got a pink as well. I think worn lipstick, peacock feathers. Oh, I don't remember the others. But that's what I'm using. And I'm just sort of blending in the colours onto the bottom half of the circle that I use as the dream catcher. And that's because I decided pretty early on that I'm actually not putting the whole circle onto the layout. I'm going to cut the top off. So unfortunately I do lose the moon part, which would have been cute, but yeah, I just wanted the feathers to be quite long, so that meant I had to trim the top of the circle cut file. So yeah, that's just what I'm doing, blending. And then I come back in with my pattern paper just to see if I've blended enough of the circle cut file that it's all kind of got a little bit of ink on it. And then I decide that I want to tone down the pattern paper that I've chosen, and I add some gesso. So I am using the Cocoa Vanilla Studio Bohemian Dream collection. There might be a couple of sneaky bits of ephemera from other collections because I do have my Cocoa Vanilla Studio kind of kept in collections, but sometimes they get mixed up because they are quite similar. So yeah, I just thought it's a boho cut file release. Bohemian Dreams collection fits really well, obviously. And yeah, that's what I've used. Funnily enough, so there's 3 of the other DT are also releasing videos today. So Danny, Daisy and Melissa. And at the time of me filming this, I have already seen Danny's layout, and I know that we've used the same collection. Not the same cut file, but we have used the same collection. So I thought that was amusing. I didn't even realise until my sister pointed it out actually. But clearly the Bohemian Dream collection lends itself well to a boho cut file release. So you can see here I'm just adding the gesso, I'm only putting the gesso under where I intend to put the cut file. So, and this is like an ombre patterned paper anyway, so it's darker at the bottom than at the top, so I kind of concentrate more of my gesso down the bottom. Yeah, so that's it. Now I'm going to add this last feather so you can sort of see how I've done that. It is rather fiddly, and I would have been better off, I think, adding my embroidery floss first to the circle and then gluing the ends onto the feathers, but I didn't do that. So I'm fiddling with it. Now I'm just wrapping it around the circle 3 or 4 times, and then all I'm doing is tying a little knot in the top. I don't really need it to hold super strongly because, again, this isn't holding any weight or anything like that. So I liked the sort of knotted look. I thought it added to the boho feel, and so that's what I'm doing. So you can see here me just tying my knot, and I will trim off some of that excess. I do leave some of the thread because I want, again, kind of that boho look. So I do leave some of the excess thread at the top, but I trim the rest off. Now, I leave more of this process in than you would normally see in my videos because this isn't something that I've sort of done before. It was a bit of a new thing for me, both combining 2 cut files, but then also, using embroidery thread and just making it quite an interactive layout, that I left a little bit more of the process in. So you could really follow, I guess, my thought. When I saw these releases, I immediately thought of a dream catcher, and I kind of wanted to see if I could put that vision into action. And for once, it doesn't usually happen, but for once, what I had in my head came out on paper. So I am very happy. And I was showing my sister and the other DT girls as I was sort of going, because I was having a lot of trouble choosing photos and things like that. And they all told me that they thought it worked really well. So yes, I'm very happy with it. Now my camera cuts in and out a few times because I was running out of storage. I had to keep deleting things, so I'm sorry you'll see it stop and start a few times. But that's just my phone being mean to me. I got it all filmed though, you didn't miss anything, which was good. I heard it go off. When it turns off, it beeps. So I did hear the beep. I don't hear it if I'm watching YouTube videos, but for some reason today while I was filming this, I wasn't watching any YouTube videos. I was in silence. So you can see me there just sort of placing the feathers, making sure that I'm happy with how they're going to go. I brought in my few photos that I was sort of looking at because I still at this point haven't decided which photos that I'm using. And yeah, I'm just kind of fiddling around really. Just seeing if I can, I guess, get an arrangement for my photos that I'm happy with. So this is one point where my camera stopped filming, and I thought I would take the opportunity while I wasn't filming to trim my photos down and back them in white cardstock, create a little white cardstock border. And in the process of doing that, I decided that I would use 2 photos. And because I couldn't decide between if I wanted to use the darker background photo with Link wrapped in a grey swaddle or the lighter background photo with him wrapped in a blue swaddle, I had 2 of each of those photos, and I decided, bugger it, I'll just use both. So I did. So one of him wrapped in blue and one of him wrapped in grey. Now these photos were taken when he was 3 weeks old, but we've only been home from hospital for like 3 days. So this was as close to a newborn photo shoot as we could get because obviously we were in hospital for 2.5 weeks. And yeah, I had already organised with my photographer that I would get these photos taken. So she and I was sort of in contact with her. And so she knew that our situation and that we would come as soon as we could. And he was so little anyway that you really, we still got the super cute newborn photos, although he looks like a completely different baby now. He was tiny when he was born, and now you guys have seen recent photos of him. He is quite the little chunky monkey in a good way for a baby. But yeah, so I wanted to document these photos. I can't believe I haven't actually scrapped them yet. So I am doing a layout now. I did do a layout with them. I have scrapped them once before, and that was using up the cards we got to celebrate Link's birth that we got sent from friends. I made a layout using those cards, and they used these photos actually. So I have scrapped them before, but I just thought these photos looked super cute, and we got like 10 different they're technically 10 different images, but ultimately they're all of the same thing. So yes, now I'm sticking down the feathers. I didn't think you needed to watch me stick down all of them, so I did edit some of that out. So some I've popped up on foam and some are stuck flat, but I just sort of put them in an arrangement that I liked. But I also didn't want the floss to be too loose, or the embroidery thread to be too loose. So they are pulled, not tight by any means, but they're kind of pulled down a little bit. So there we go. I've stuck those down. I've stuck my photos down, and now I'm going to work on embellishing. So I am going to create 3 embellishment clusters. I wanted to keep it pretty simple, but I did add 3 embellishment clusters. So, and I added florals. Obviously, this is quite a pink themed layout for my little boy, but if you haven't picked it up now about me, I don't care. I use the things that make me happy, and often that's pinks and florals and those kind of colours, so I really don't mind using them for Link's layouts. I'm sure as he gets older I'll use collections that I guess reflect his personality a bit more and what he's into. That may well be flowers and pink. I don't know yet. At this stage he likes balls. So he loves balls and wheels and things like that, so we'll see kind of how his personality evolves as he gets older. But yes, I am putting down these cute flowers from the Bohemian Dreams collection and just creating 3 clusters. And then the title is also coming from the chipboard sheet in Bohemian Dream as well. And it's going to be Dream Big is the title. I love it when I don't have to think of a title because the company has already done it for me. Very handy. And while I'm fiddling with all of this, I will just let you know that in the cut file release that's happening today on the 1st of Feb at the Confessions of Paper Addict cut file shop, Virginia has created some awesome bundles now. I think in January she started creating some bundles of 6 of her cut files, and they're for like a way cheaper price than you would get if you bought them individually. So definitely check out the bundle she's got released for the 1st of Feb. But I think there's also a few other bundles in the shop that probably snuck in there in January. If you are not part of the Confessions of a Paper Addict Facebook group, you may not know that she created those bundles because I'm pretty sure she put them up in there. So definitely go and join because we have lots of fun stuff that happens in that Facebook group. We do like challenges and stuff sometimes, but Virginia also occasionally releases free cut files just to the Facebook group. It's definitely worth joining. I will leave a link down below, as well as of course a link to the Confessions of a Paper Addict cut file shop on Etsy, so make sure you go and check out both of those places. So I think, I could be wrong, but I think Virginia might have another sneaky release in February, I think. Don't quote me on that. I have been known to be wrong before, just ask my partner, but she may do, so make sure you're tuning in for that, and definitely go and check out the Facebook group because that's where you hear about all of them first. Now, I've basically finished. I just decided to add some vellum butterflies to my clusters, and I'm just using glue dots to attach those. Yes, you can see the glue dots through the vellum, but because there's black kind of detailing on the vellum, the glue dots aren't particularly noticeable. So it's just the easiest way I find to adhere vellum, and it does make the edges curl up, but I really like that look, particularly with butterflies. So yeah, I'm really happy with how that's turned out. I'm just thinking now if I add any splatters, and that's sort of why you haven't seen me do my jazz hands and show you the close-ups yet, because I'm sort of thinking, do I want to add splatters? And in the end, yes, I decide to, and I go in with the Heidi Swapp Colour Shine in navy and gold. Now my gold is so close to running out, and it's really difficult to pick up any of the colour on the end of the spray nozzle tip, and so it actually was really annoying to use it. I think I'm going to have to get one of those fan brushes that people use to do splatters sometimes, and then tip out my Colour Shine into another container and like flick it using a paintbrush. I think I'm going to have to do that because I'm determined to use it up. I don't want to waste it. I really like it, but I do have another gold spray that I'll use after this one's finished, and so I'm not kind of devastated that it's going to be used up. So I'm just going to make that a mission of mine this year to use up this gold Heidi Swapp Colour Shine. So you can see me here. I just have to be really deliberate with adding my splatters, and it's quite annoying. It takes a lot longer, but that's what I'm doing. And you can see I had some big mishaps with like large drops falling. Thankfully none fell on my layout, but they usually do. I just go with it if they do, but it's very annoying to have this giant gold splodge in the middle of your lovely layout. So that's it. We're done. I'll show you the close-ups and we are all finished. So make sure you go and check out the Confessions of a Paper Addict Etsy shop. Link will be down below, as well as a Facebook group. And there's 3 other awesome DT who are also releasing videos today. If I can, or if I remember, more to the point, I'll try and remember to link their videos down below just in case you haven't seen them or you're not subscribed to them, because they're fabulous. I'm sure you are subscribed to them, Danny, Daisy and Melissa, because they're very popular YouTubers, so I am sure you know who they are, but I will try to remember to leave their links down below. So thank you guys for watching. Here are some close-ups. You'll see a photo in a minute. I hope you like this layout as much as I did, and we will see you in the next video. All right, guys, have a wonderful day. Bye.